Look at the state you're in.
Don't you want to do something?
I can't now.
I feel quite hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Garlic soup for the winter, onion soup for the spring. Asparagus for taste and prunes for what ails you. Dry.
Good day to you.
You look like you've got a lot on your plate, Matt.
Busy. I've had so many visitors, I wouldn't wonder if...
What's going on?
I've been given the task of putting some of the Scarlet's refugees to work. It's not that there's a shortage of jobs.
I understand.
The worst part is they won't tell you who really needs a job the most.
How?
They're like to be more honest with you, so you can find out who's in the most need. And you can decide for yourself who'll do what. Will you help?
If you need help, I'll do whatever I can.
You're a godsend. I'm sure it won't take too long. You know how the refugees are getting on, don't you? But ask around if you need to find out more.
What kind of work are we talking about?
Well, old Hagen is looking for a cook and...
A cook and 5 water carriers. That sounds simple enough. Is there a problem?
A little. We need 3 water carriers, but the other 2 will have to carry, begging your pardon, shit. Or as the Pope would say, excrement.
Is there anyone who can tell me more about...
Yes, the merchant Conrad Hagen is the one.
What kind of work?
Well, old Hagen is...
A cook and 5 water...
A little.
How come that's such a...
For one thing.
Oh, they're desperate.
I don't.
Can you tell me...
You'll have to...
What can you tell...
If all else...
That's all I need to know.
Good luck, then. Been a pleasure.
Goodbye.
God be with you.
The bailiff sent me. He said you're looking for a...
That's right. I'm searching for a good cook, but I've said all that to our esteemed bailiff.
Well, I offered the bailiff my help because I know the Skalitz folk.
Ah, I see. Well, ask away then.
Do you have any particular requirements for the new cook?
Well, it would be an advantage if she knew how to cook.
Well, yes, but the bailiff said you had other conditions.
Well, I want a woman who's capable of looking after the house when I'm away on business.
Young, nimble.
What for? I want her to impress people with her food, not her face.
I understand. Sorry. I also heard there are vacant carrier jobs.
Yes, yes. I'm surprised it hasn't occurred to anyone sooner. It will certainly benefit the city if the burghers don't have to send their own servants.
It will benefit my people as well.
Of course, of course. It goes without saying.
I also heard that you need workers to carry, to empty latrines.
It's not dignified to talk of such manners. They're decent people.
But I need to know...
Enough. I won't have such talk in my home. Good luck to you.
Why? I'm carrying an important...
Right then. Hey!
God be with you.
I'd like to ask about our former neighbours. There are jobs here for some of them, and I have to pick people.
The bailiff told me about it. He still wants our people to do the knackers.
But what of it? It will benefit everyone.
Not everyone. There's not enough work for everyone, and no one wants to do the knacker's job.
But having a job could save someone's life.
Water carrying, maybe. But if they have to do a job that's not fit for a decent person, only for the knacker or the executioner's servant?
So you think there's no point in it? That it's better to beg than have a job, even if it is hauling shit?
You forget that that's a job for the knacker's hired hand, not for displaced people. When we return to Skalitz, they'll never be able to rid themselves of the stink.
So, do you know who's most in need of some coin and is fit for hard work?
Everyone's in need of coin, but not everyone is fit for such work.
But who should I talk to then? Where will I find them?
I'll talk to them myself and send them to meet you in front of the Rathaus, so they'll all be in one place. It'll take me a while, though.
I'm also looking for a cook. Do you know of a good cook who's looking for work?
Well, there's Agnes. I've heard she can cook better than anyone. Only...
Well, what's the problem? Did something happen to her?
No, it's just that I haven't seen her around here for ages.
Look where you're going.
I believe she's cooking for the local parish priest and living at the presbytery. So I don't think she's in need.
Thanks. I'll go.
Goodbye.
Are you Agnes, who works at St. James?
I am. Or I did.
before those devils rolled in and burnt down Skalitz. Why do you ask?
I'm looking for a good cook and housekeeper, and everyone I asked sent me to you.
Oh, I've been blessed by God.
So it seems. Anyway, the local merchant wants someone who can cook food fit for nobility and take care of his household.
Well, Father Francis was very fond of good food, but I can't just go...
Why not?
Because I'm still Father Francis's housekeeper.
But I heard he fled and isn't coming back.
Don't pay any attention. They're just rumors. I'm still his housekeeper.
Where's Father Francis now?
I don't know. The last time I saw him, he was going to confession in Sasau. But that was before all these terrible things happened. I've heard no word of him since then.
Does he go to Sasau often? Where does he stay when he's there?
Not so often. About once a month. He always used to stay in the inn near the monastery, so he wouldn't have far to go.
I'll ask around about what happened to Father Francis. I'll let you know.
Take care.
We're good neighbors. I lived like you did till... God be with you.
Bread, fresh bread, rolls, buns, and pretzels for you.
What? Are you serious?
Good day, Henry.
So, should we go then?
I suppose so. Right away. I put some of my old clothes in a trunk for you. I don't want you making me look bad. So go and get dressed up before we head off.
Thanks, Sir Hans. So, should we go then?
Let's go. And by the way, I'm glad you got dressed up properly. Clothes make the man, and in your case, it's quite a transformation. Come along then.
Well, my ward and his, what shall we say, chaperone.
Uncle.
My lord?
I hope we haven't dragged you away from anything too important.
Not at all, Uncle. We were
like
just...
boozing and whoring, for instance.
Uncle, I can...
Perhaps you were busy, causing mayhem in the middle of the night and beating up my subjects.
No, it wasn't... Henry and I were just...
Henry's as big a fool as you are. But he's not my ward, thank Christ. What the hell do the pair of you think you're doing? There are people in this fiefdom who work from dawn to dusk to put food on their tables, and on yours, may I remind you. And then they look at you, Hans, their lord and master, and see a drunken layabout. That fellow you beat up last night was a guard, a new guard on the town watch. And he couldn't report for duty this morning because of his injuries. I had the bailiff here complaining, and could I tell him what I really think about this whole sorry affair? Of course not. That would demean me. And you too. So I had to sit gaping like a stuffed owl and listen to his grievances. Maybe you think because you're the lord here you can get away with anything. But you're sadly mistaken, you blockhead. A lord remains a lord only as long as he commands the loyalty of his subjects. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you the folk here are not exactly enchanted at the prospect of having you in charge. That was the last straw, Capon. One more of your escapades and I'll send you to your mother in Polnar. For all I care, she can dress you up like a wench and marry you off to some Hungarian.
Uncle, that arson Archibald tried to murder me. What was I to do?
Oh, don't exaggerate. Well, I'm hardly surprised after you molested his girl and humiliated him.
I was only...
Oh, don't whine, for heaven's sake. It's about time you started taking some responsibility. I have a job for you. Maybe that will keep you out of mischief. Sir Milota of Oleshna has turned up here. Do you know him?
Isn't he Sir Bernard's cousin?
He is. He came here with the remnants of his retinue to seek refuge. He's seriously wounded.
What happened to him, sir?
His fortress Oleshna was attacked by one Wulfrin of Camburg. Milota pursued him almost as far as Neuhof and engaged with him. Unfortunately, the skirmish didn't end well for Milota.
Wulfrin of Camburg? That name is familiar.
He's kin to the Oleshna lords, too. A cousin of Bernard's and Milota's. Their family affairs are a little complicated. None of my business, of course. I just wish they'd found somewhere else to thrash out their differences.
What do you want us to do, sir?
Go and see Bernard in the courtyard. He got a report that Wulfrin pillaged some other farms around Neuhof, and he's putting a squad together to ride against him. Mind your step, though. It's a family affair, after all. Maybe more to it than meets the eye. The important thing is to get that damn scavenger out of the domain. If possible, without bloodshed. I can't afford to lose any men over this business. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Very well, Uncle.
Get to work, then.
I don't like it. Stop your grumbling. You get paid, don't you? You can't take it with you, though, can you? Everyone has to die sometime. Soldiering's as good a job as any.
Hey, Henry's come to see us.
Sir Melota looked pretty bad. No wonder. He chased that horse on half across the county, and the skirmish didn't end well for him. He lost a lot of men.
Sir Hanush sent me, Captain. I'm to join your mission. And Sir Hans, too.
Then mount up, youngster, and we'll move out. Lord Capon,
Learn
when
how
we
to
get
ride
there,
a
I'd like
horse,
you to hold
idiot.
back.
You can forget about that, Bernard. I'm not going on an outing. Hannah sent me to handle this matter, and handle it I will. I know what you meant, Captain. Forget it.
Very well, Your Grace.
Yeah. Listen, Bernard. About this robber. I heard some rumours.
About his being a relative of mine, Melotus?
Something like that.
We have the same great-grandfather, Urban, Baron of Oleshna. Wolfen belongs to a distant branch of my family, which, well, let's just say they bring no honor to our name.
But I heard Wolfen of Camberg was hanged somewhere in Silesia after plundering the bishop's estate.
Yeah, I heard the same. Only, well, I'm sure you've heard what they say about the Camberg branch of my family.
That they're cursed. Now, Bernard, don't you think I'm a little old for fairy tales?
Think what you like, but I heard it from my grandfather, and he never paid attention to old wives' tales.
I meant no offence, Captain. Well, tell me all about it then. After all, there's no smoke without fire, and I never heard about the Camberg man from a member of the family.
Very well. At home, we always spoke in whispers about our Camberg relatives. When Wolfen's father, Wilhelm, came to visit, I'm almost ashamed to say it.
You can rely on my discretion, Captain. Carry on.
Well, the servants were so afraid of him that they went and hid in the barn. Father had them whipped. Even then, they wouldn't go near Wilhelm. They were afraid he cursed them. I couldn't blame them.
Why's that?
Uncle Wilhelm's face was so badly disfigured, folk would cross themselves when they saw him. I was afraid of him myself as a boy.
Was he wounded in war?
No, he was born that way. You see, his mother, Countess Barbara of Hogwitz, didn't want to marry Wilhelm's father, my grandfather's brother. She never wanted to bear his children. So, when she fell pregnant, they say she went to a witch to get rid of the child. She ended up having to go. Well,
Are you looking for someone?
Yeah. Yeah.
God be with you, Henry.
My respects to you.
Are you here on account of the war?
Yes, I am. My name...
Nice to meet you. I'll ask a few questions and we'll see.
Fine.
You're just going to pretend I'm not here?
What did you do before this?
I work for my father.
Doing what?
He was.
Really? His farmhands came...
You're just going to pretend I'm not here?
So you're probably here about...
Aye.
That's all?
That's what...
You're just going to pretend I'm not here?
How are you holding up?
Well,
Not
I'm alive.
talking to me?
What happened with Bailiff?
I don't know. I didn't talk to him at all.
Not talking to me?
And what would you give me if I put in a...
I've got nothing to give.
Oh, come now. You say you want the job.
Mother told me I should go and help.
That's enough for now.
Take care.
You're just going to pretend I'm not here?
What do you need?
You're here about the water carrying.
Aye.
So, do you want the job?
I do. I want it. What do I have to do?
Well, I could put in a good word for you, but you'll have to scratch my back too.
Fair enough. Show me where it is.
No, you dolt. It's just a saying. Like I do something for you, and you do something for me.
Ah, right. I see. Well, as it happens, I've got something great for you. Treasure you wouldn't dream of.
Treasure, you say? Right.
I see you're a...
Never heard of her. Who's she?
She was a great queen in ancient times. She gave Solomon a sword with magical power.
Magical, eh? You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
No, it's true. It's in the Bible. And this sword, once it's put back together, nothing can stop it. It can cut through bones, teeth, even steel and stone.
I see. But you've only got one piece. What's that good for?
I couldn't get it all. The fellow I bought it off didn't have the rest. He sold off bits and pieces. But they've got powers of healing, you see.
We'll shake on it.
Agreed. May the Lord watch over you.
Am I invisible or what?
How's it going?
You're interested in carrying...
I am.
I agree. Now, I'll ask you a few questions.
What?
What would you give me if I put...
So that's how it is it? An honest person can't get a job. Only one who'll stoop to...
Come now. I just want to help. But I'll have my job cut out persuading the bailiff to take you.
All right. I don't have anything. But I know the armourer in Sasau. And he'll give you a good price if I have a word with him.
Cheap armour might come in handy, all right?
Done.
Not talking to me?
God save you, Henry.
Hey, am I invisible?
There's also the option of, emptying latrines.
Are you trying to insult me? That's no job for a decent Christian.
True. That's why it pays double.
Double, hey? Oh, that's not bad, but, for a man of my... double.
That's enough for now.
See you later.
Hey, am I...
What do you want?
I want to work. And I heard you're the one in charge of giving out jobs, not the bailiff.
It's true. Do you know how to cook? If you know how to make food for nobles, then I might have something for you.
Where would I learn to cook food for nobles? I want to carry water.
But Alex has already picked people who want to carry water.
He didn't ask me, though. So I came here in my...
Look, I already have more people than jobs. You're a bit late.
But I really need a job.
But so does everyone else around here.
None of them has a husband on his death...
Well, if you know how to cook fine food, I could get you a job at the merchant's house. You'd have a nice roof over your head there, too.
All I've ever cooked is gruel and soup. Nothing fit for nobles. A roof would be grand, though. Not so much for me, but for my husband. Is there any way you could arrange it?
No. Not unless I lied about your cooking skills. But he'd find out soon enough, and then we'd both be in trouble. All right. I'll think about it and talk to the bailiff.
And you'll tell him to take me, right? God bless.
God save you.
You're here about the water?
I am.
Hold your horses. We haven't decided yet who gets the job. I have to ask you a few...
What for? I can handle the job. But
What would you give me if I recommended you?
what could I give when I don't have a pot to piss in? All I have is a strong arm. Whenever I hit anything or anyone, they stay.
Well, if I get you the job, will you show me how to really hit some...
I could. Deal, then.
No deal. Well, there's also the option of carrying, shit.
Not a chance. I'm not carrying any shit around. And if anyone tries to make me, I'll break his legs.
And what if I told you that you get double the pay?
Didn't I mention something about breaking legs?
You did? But more money?
I wouldn't be under the winch anymore. More like under the stench.
I know everything I need.
So, can I go carry water then?
Not yet. I'll tell the bailiff and he'll choose.
Well, I hope he chooses me. Otherwise, I might be very angry.
If you think I'm afraid of you, you're mistaken.
We'll see. Farewell.
My humble greetings. How may I...
You're one of the people interested in work.
Well, Alex told me that I'm supposed to ask about a job...
That's right. But first, I'll ask you a few questions. You are...
Peter. But everyone calls me Rock. There was more than enough Peters in the mines. And not just in the mines. So...
What would you give if I put in a good word for you?
Good word?
Sure. If I put in a good word for somebody to the bailiff, then that someone has a better chance.
But I haven't got a pot to piss in. I lost everything, and I'm in debt too. But I might know about an opportunity.
Oh? What kind of opportunity?
I heard about it at the mine, before Skalitz was raised.
So, what did you hear?
They found something they wanted kept a secret. There weren't any rumours about a silver scene, but what else could it?
The punishment for stealing the king's silver is hanging or burning at the stake.
I know, but you can't be burned for stealing silver nobody knows about.
There's one more option. Carrying shit.
What? For the knacker?
It's a job.
But what would people say? I need money badly, but I couldn't go back to mining if it...
But it would be twice the pay.
The money would help, true enough. But what about afterwards? I don't want to be carrying shit on.
No, it won't come to that. Sir Radzig will surely take care of things when he returns home. He won't forget the sacrifice you make.
I'm glad to hear that. If that's how it is, I'll even carry shit.
That's enough for now.
Take care now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Any work for me here by any chance?
That depends. How's your hearing?
What?
I said, how's your hearing?
It's perfectly fine. You don't have to scream at me. I mean, why are you...
Because there is this one little job going. But I need someone who knows the area well and has good...
I ought to be able to handle that.
Fine. So here's the problem. My friend is a birder, and he left a few rare nightingales with me for safekeeping. They're good to trade. Rich gentlemen hang them caged up in their chambers. It keeps their wives from fretting when they're off drinking and when...
I see.
The trouble is the nightingales are gone. I don't know how, but the birds have flown.
Hang on, surely you're not asking me to go flapping around looking for birds?
Not exactly. Luckily, their wings are clipped, so they won't be far, and the watchman in the tower told me they headed off toward Vranik. I have traps prepared. It should be easy enough to catch them in those.
Fine, but how will I know where to put the traps?
I hear they like pine woods, and there's a pine-covered hill just before Vranik.
Right, a bloody great...
That's just why you need to listen out. Nightingales have a distinctive song. When you hear it close by, you set a trap on the spot. They kept twittering away the whole time they were here, so I can remember the tunes. I'll sing them to you.
I can't wait.
It went something like this.
What? People keep birds like that in their houses? It's like the sound a cat makes when you pull it by the...
You know how it is. The gentry's got all manner of odd tastes. The question is, can you remember?
Can you repeat that?
Of course. Remember it now?
Yes, I'll remember.
Right. Here...
I'll do that.
Farewell. Ah! Watch what you're doing!
Yeah.
Lord Almighty!
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
God save you.
What do we do now?
First, we have to find out where those Horsons are holed up. According to the reports, they raided a few farms around here. So someone should go to those places and find out what they can. You should do it, Henry. My men would probably just...
All right, Captain.
One is uphill from Neuhoff, right by the woods. One here above the woods by the crossroads, directly north from our camp.
Tell me, Captain, how come this Wolflin is attacking his...
They say blood's thicker than water, but sometimes I wonder. Look at our king and Sigismund.
So what's the cause of your conflict with...
Nothing in particular. Just that he's a ruffian, a treacherous bastard, and a bandit. No wonder the whole Camber clan is... Good luck, then.
Yeah. Captain Bernard sent me. It's about that attack.
Well, they came, took everything they could, and rode off again. I don't know what else I can tell you.
We're trying to catch up with that gang, so I need to hear every detail you can tell me.
What do you want to know?
How many of them were there?
2 or 3. I'm not sure. My head's still in a spin.
Which way did they go?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. My husband made me hide indoors, and I only saw them through the window.
So your husband was outside?
Yes. He tried to parley with them.
What did they take?
Not much. We haven't a pot to piss in, which I told them in no uncertain terms as soon as they came here.
So you're telling me they came here, you told them there was nothing worth taking, and they just rode off again, without further ado?
More or less.
But just a while ago, you told me you were indoors the whole time.
Yes. I was. Most...
So were you inside or outside? Did you talk to them or not?
Well, Like I say, it was confusing. I don't remember much.
Look here, I'm not sure what happened here, but I can't shake the feeling you're holding something back.
No! It's just... it all happened so quickly. I'm still bewildered from it all.
I'm the one who's bewildered. Let me make one thing clear. Those bandits are led by Sir Wulflin, Baron of Camberg, and he's not just some common outlaw. If we don't catch him, there'll be hell to pay. So you better speak up, no matter what happened here.
Lord Jesus. Why must we be persecuted so...
So, what really happened here?
First, promise me you'll get rid of them.
That's exactly what I'm here for.
They came a few days ago, took a pig and a sack of apples. We put up no resistance. I noticed one of them had an injured leg, so I offered to treat it for...
Why would you help those cutthroats?
They didn't behave violently towards us, and I thought it would be best to keep them happy. At least they left me some apples.
Go on. What happened then?
They rode off, and I prayed we'd seen the last of them. Only the same evening, they came back again. One of them had been wounded, and they wanted me to take a look at him. They gave me some coin and took me to their camp. And in the morning I came home again.
So you know where they're camped? I'd like you to lead me there.
I won't go to their camp, no. But I know of a place where you'll have a good view of it.
That'll do me.
Good luck then. I'm not going any further. If they saw me, I'd be done.
Thanks. And don't worry. I'll deal with those bastards.
I pray you do.
Looks like I found it. I'd better get back and report to Captain Bernard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good day, Henry.
I found that encampment.
Ah, I'm glad to hear it. Is it far?
No.
How many men did you see?
About 15.
Shit. That won't be easy. Oh well, nothing to be done. Wulfen of Camberg must hang from the ramparts in Rattay.
Wouldn't it be better to parley with them, sir?
Parley with robbers? You must be out of your mind.
I gave Sir Hanush my word I'd look out for his men, and I intend to keep it. So it's my duty to advise a parley.
You're going to advise me?
You're not seeing straight, Captain. No wonder, since Wulflin's your kin. Please, just grant me one thing. Let me go and parley. I'll find out more, and maybe we can settle everything without losing any men.
No, out of the question. Pillaging needs to be stopped by swords and not words. If we make a deal today, in a week another 20 bastards will be lining up for Sir Hanush's coin.
All right, sir. It was just a suggestion.
Well, you can keep your suggestions to yourself. Can we get going or not?
Of course. Ready when you are.
Good one. Wulflin of Camp.
That's a difficult choice, cousin. What do you say, man?
Am I to take it you intend to resist?
I didn't want to, but these men here talked me into it.
We're wasting our time, Captain. This brute here hasn't the honour of a common footpad. These murdering swine slayed Vitus and Cyril. I think it's time they paid for it. What do you say, men?
Blood for blood!
At those bastards! Charge!
For Sir Hanush!
Is that all you got?
Sigh.
Goodbye.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
My breath is short, my feet are sore, I'd buy a horse, but I am poor. God be with you.
Do you ever work with copper here?
No, and even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Zach from the Monastery Craftsman's Yard has bought out all the copper.
What can you tell me about this?
There's too many of us, I'll tell you that for free. This is only a small town. There's Zach, who has a forge in the Craftsman's Yard and mostly works on the construction of the church. And then, apart from me, there's Master Armourer Otter of Ramstein.
Can you tell me something about Master Otter?
Well now, there's a master to look up to. He's worked for the lords of Kunstadt and for the richest townsfolk of Prague.
If you don't mind my asking, what brings him here?
The same as draws all reasonable people. He's enjoying the peace and quiet. Or rather, he used to enjoy some peace. That dispute with Zach must have put a few more wrinkles on it.
Tell me more about Zach.
Don't have much time for him myself. He knows his craft, no question. But he seems to think his son, Vitus, will be a master armourer in Prague.
My father was a blacksmith, and I expect he thought much the same about me. That's how fathers are.
Of course, any man should be proud of his boy. But Zach makes pride a sin. That's why he's at loggerheads with Master Otter.
What are Zach and Master Otter arguing?
Zach had his boy Vitus trained as an armourer in Kuttenberg, and he wanted to buy out Otter's place for him. Except that Otter's a proud man. How would it have looked? A master armourer giving way to a young whippersnapper who's barely let go of his mother's skirt. And they've been arguing ever since. Well, Zack mostly. He badmouths Otter every chance he gets. He claims that he's only fit for mending pots and that his son will see him off.
That will be all.
I'm looking for pieces of a sword that appeal.
I would. Of course I...
Well?
It's a load of tripe. Only a fool would have given that trickster a single groschen, and I'm no fool. How about you?
But if he lied about that sort of stuff, it would be a terrible sin.
Don't be so gullible, lad. That bastard never saw the Holy Land, unless it was in a fresco. Good luck to you. No, that looks...
Huh? What the... Are you serious?
Jesus Christ be praised.
Do you make anything out of copper, Master?
I do a bit of Damascene decor sometimes. Why do you ask?
I'm looking for someone who could do me some copper sheets. What can you tell me about the blacksmiths here?
Depends which ones you mean. In the town, they're...
What about the monastery blacksmith, Zack?
Well, him and me don't exactly see eye to eye. He wanted to buy my business, but I turned him down. Ever since then, he hasn't had a good word to say about me.
That'll be all. Thank
May the Lord watch over you.
Be a bit more careful.
My respects to you, sir. Farewell. I'll have a beer.
So, what did Master Pfeiffer have to say?
I consulted him, and we definitely have a starting point.
Tell me more.
Master Pfeiffer found out they need copper sheets for the core of the coins, and quicksilver for the the other part?
I see. They have such materials at the monastery.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in the local forges.
Yes, that is good. Yesterday, I heard people from the craftsman's yard by the monastery complaining. They said they could not sleep at night because the blacksmith works all the time till dawn.
I see. That's certainly worth asking about. Have you heard anything else?
You said they use quicksilver. There is a painter lodging here who is painting the church in Ujits. I heard him complain also. He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
Well, that's something to follow up as well. Thanks.
God be with you, good sir.
I hear you've had some problems with the supply of quicksilver.
Problems? I should say so. For the third time this month they've told me they've none. There's no quicksilver to be had, they said.
And who exactly are you talking about? Who's holding back the goods on you?
The monastery overseer, or his assistant, more like.
So what did the overseer have to say to you?
Nothing. Apparently he doesn't deal in such trifles. Leaves it all to his assistant, the pompous
Surely such valuable material can't just vanish. Where can it be?
I wish I knew. Every time I ask for the red paint, there's a different reason why they haven't got the quicksilver to mix it. Once they said the goods never arrived, and another time that the wagon carrying it was ambushed. Then it went astray somewhere.
And you think they're lying?
Jesus, what do I know? But it seems pretty strange to me. 3 times in a row the same thing goes missing. There's bad luck and then there's something else.
That's all I need to know.
Ah. But wouldn't you care to buy something before you go? Or play a game? I really need some money. I've been waiting here a while and my stay's getting expensive.
Why not? Show me what you have to...
May the Lord watch over you.
All right.
Let's have a word about the...
Yeah, give me a minute.
Agree?
That's not enough. All right, so.
I'll be back in 2 shakes.
Well, Master.
Yes, unfortunately. And
there's always time for some dice. Let's see what you can...
God be with you.
Here we are. Here you are, and good health.
I'm hungry. I'd like a bite to eat.
Coming.
We'll see whose side Lady Luck is on.
Am I invisible? Over here! A beer!
The service is a bit slow here today. That's it.
Here we are.
We'll see. Now I'm for the chop.
Coming. Here, just as you ordered.
This'll be the one.
My pleasure.
Hmm.
All right.
Cursed luck! Fucked! Again! God be with you, Henry.
Jesus Christ be...
Do you have any quicksilver?
Who's asking?
Nobody. I'm just up.
Then I don't have any.
That sounds almost as if you don't want to sell it.
It's not that I don't want to. It's that I can't.
Bollocks. Tell me this instant what you've done with the goods.
Nothing! And I'd advise you to calm down. We're on...
You're a fine one to speak of hallowed ground, a lying thief in monastic robes. What next? A whore dressed as a nun?
This is blasphemy!
I'll give you blasphemy. I'm sure you know what our Lord did to the money changers in the temple.
What do you mean? You're not going to hurt me?
Tell me what's going on here and I won't have a reason to.
Jesus. But I didn't know anything about any counterfeiting.
For your sake, I hope that's true. Now tell me what's been going on.
I swear, I wouldn't normally do anything like that.
Get to the point.
God be with you, Henry.
They came for me at noon, directly to the office. The overseer was somewhere on his rounds. Some night, it was, without a crest, armed. He called himself Sir Jezek, and he had a lackey with him called Rapota, a scruffy fellow with a yellow cape. Always whistling he was. They told me they wanted all the quicksilver we order for the monastery. Of course, I told him that wouldn't be possible.
And then what? Did they threaten you?
Not at first. They tried to bribe me, and when I refused, they started threatening.
How did you hand it over to them?
I take it up the hill behind the monastery here. There's a big tree there with a small chapel underneath. Sometimes Raputa is there waiting for me. If not, I leave it there.
What did they threaten you with?
They said they know people in the monastery, that they'd have me thrown out and beaten for...
And you had been stealing? I mean, before then?
You know how it is. I work my fingers to the bone and they pay me a pittance.
So they knew about you?
Yes, they knew my name, everything.
Very well. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Good day to you.
God be with you.
Good day to you.
A tankard of ale for me.
Do you work any copper here, Master Blacksmith?
Why'd you ask?
I'd want to commission you to make something.
Then you'd best go elsewhere. I never use...
A tankard of ale for me.
That's not what I heard.
What?
I was told in town that you bought all the other blacksmith's copper.
I'm being made a fool of yet again, it seems. Anything else? I still have work to do.
I'll touch it right away.
So back to that copper, Master.
What? I thought I told you I don't work with...
My pleasure.
Aha.
May the Lord watch over you.
Ale is due.
Copper. And quite a lot of it. I wonder what Zack will have to say about this.
Jesus, look where you're going.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Is there anything in...
There is! And when I get my hands on that bastard, his neck will be on the X...
Farewell.
What is it?
Greetings. What...
You look different, Master.
So as to fit in. I don't want it known that I'm in town.
Right.
So what have you found out so far?
Nothing much.
Well, hurry up, Henry.
You look different.
So as to fit...
Right.
So...
I found out where they get their quicksilver from. You were right, it was the monastery.
It was the only logical explanation.
It changed hands on the hill behind the monastery.
Have you been there to have a look around?
Not yet.
Maybe it would be worth the time.
I'll go and see.
And have you found out who's behind it?
Someone called Rapita.
Not much, but it's a start. At least it's not a common name. Listen, Henry, I had another thought on the way here. Those counterfeiters have to have a punch die to make the fake coins.
Yes, of course.
That's sophisticated work. There's a man I know who works at the monastery yard, Master Engraver Jerome of Silesia.
You don't suppose that he's...
No, not that, God forbid. I know him well. He'd never do anything like that. But he runs an engraving workshop, so he might have heard something.
Very well, I'll ask him.
But ask with tact. I don't want him getting offended. And I prefer you not to mention me at all.
I'll try to think of something. That's all.
May the Lord watch over you.
God be with you.
How goes the work, master?
Getting there, getting there. You need something, my boy?
You've got quite a large workshop, master. You don't do all the work alone.
I'm usually here with my apprentice, Florian. Of course, by simple observation, you'll note that this is not currently the case, and I'm here alone, which means that either I'm a liar or something out of the ordinary has occurred.
I see. I think. So what's happened to Florian?
He shares the fate of the pharaohs for today. The 5th scourge of Egypt did smite him, the plague, or so his message advised me.
Jesus Christ, the plague?
Do remain calm. I'm quite certain the plague from which Florian is suffering wasn't a judgment from on high, or if it was a judgment on excessive drinking. I'm told such an ailment can be of truly biblical proportions.
What's he like, your apprentice, Florian?
I'm afraid that his exuberant youth has taken its toll. He's been acting strangely of late. I fear he has delusions of persecution.
I don't really know what you mean, at all.
Recently, for example, he told me that someone was following him, and the very next day he bought a padlock from the blacksmith and locked up his chest, as though I would ever sneak in.
Pussycat yum yum.
In any case, why the interest?
Something like that.
May I ask why?
We've been friends since childhood. I wanted to see him.
Making friends has been a skill of his from his earliest days. Unlike making anything related to... About your question, you'll find him at home. No doubt feverishly dying. He sleeps in the baker's cellar.
Ah, thank you. Tell me, master. I noticed some very
Let me see. Looks like a drawing of the Prague Groschen. One of my apprentices must have done it for practice.
Thank you. I'll leave you to your work.
May the Lord watch over you.
Ah!
So back to that copper, master.
What?
A tankard of ale for
I thought I told you I don't work with copper.
I see. Then it's a little odd that you have baskets full of raw copper in the shed round the back.
You've been in my barn? Best make a head start before I talk to the bailiff.
Your workshop's supplying a counterfeiting gang. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me the truth.
All right. I suppose there's no point lying. We do make copper sheets here, and I wanted to keep it quiet.
Why?
Pays me good money, and the people I do it for. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of them.
Did they threaten you?
They didn't have to. Just by the look of them, I could say I needed to shut my mouth and do what they wanted.
And did they ever tell you who they were? Do you know where to find them?
I know a little. But show some understanding. There's nothing but trouble in it for me. I'll lose the work and be left looking over my shoulder for some thugs to come and burn down my house. Or worse.
If you don't cooperate, you'll be getting a lot worse than that from me.
There's no need for threats. We can both benefit here. If I tell you everything I know, you can help me with a certain small matter. One that'll cover up for my loss of earnings.
So what are we talking about?
I recently tried to buy Master Armourer Otto Rabstein, but that old fool wouldn't listen to reason. He said he couldn't understand his legacy being taken over by a clod like my Vitus. Despite the insult, I doubled my offer, but Master Otto still wouldn't budge.
And what is it you need from me?
I thought I'd show Otto that Vitus isn't such a dolt as he thinks, but for that I need someone experiencing.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad.
What's your plan?
Otto's busy making a very pretty suit of armour for the bailiff. So I was thinking, if we could show that pretty armour of his is absolutely useless, he'd be disgraced.
And how am I supposed to see to that?
Well, I'd reckon we'd arrange a duel of champions with bludgeons. You'll put on Vitus's armour, and Otto will send his champion in that tin shit of his. You invite the bailiff to watch, and Otto will be made a laughingstock in front of everyone. What we already agreed. I'll give up dealing in copper, and I'll tell you everything I know about what's been going on.
Agreed.
Wonderful. Go to Otto first and talk him into it. Then go to the bailiff so he can announce it and get spectators. The more people see it, the better. We'll bring the armour to you at the combat arena. See you later.
Where's that murdering swine?
He can't...
Yo! Learn how to...
When I find him...
Jesus Christ be praised.
Master Armourer, I have a message for you from Blacksmith Zap.
If it's another one of his so-called generous offers, you can go straight back and tell him I'm not selling, and that's...
No, this is another matter. Vitus wants to challenge you to a duel.
What? Me fight with that brat? Zack must have lost his mind entirely.
That's not how it will be. The real duel will be between your pieces of handiwork.
How's that?
It will be a duel with bludgeons. No bloodshed. At most, a few bruises and some dents in the armour. Zack chose me to wear a Vitus...
And so I'm to choose a champion of my own? That sounds...
Good. So let's agree on the time.
Hold your horses, young fella. I've got a counter-offer for you. Now, I'm sure Zack is paying you well.
I won't deny it.
I could pay you more. And I'd tailor-make a cuirass just for you. What do you say?
You mean if I fight as your champion instead? I'm not sure how Zack would take it.
No, you fight on Zack's side. And Lou.
That's not very honourable.
And Zack's constant slander and mudslinging are the heights.
Zack might be acting the scoundrel, but why lower yourself to his level? You should show you're the better man.
Better than that, upstart. I'm a master of my craft, boy. I've made armour for the lords of Kunstadt. I've no need to prove anything to any... So, are you going to help me or not?
All right, I'll do it.
Wonderful. Zack won't know what hit him.
So, choose the time and place.
What, me?
You're the one being challenged, so it's your...
Well, it's all the same to me. Go and sort it out with the bailiff. He should know about it anyway, so I don't look like a troublemaker.
All right?
God be with you.
Henry, I'm glad you came. Be a bit more careful.
One beer for me.
My pleasure. Coming right up.
I'm here on behalf of blacksmith Zack.
Henry!
Zack?
I'm glad you
What is
stopped
that
by.
madman? Don't tell me. It's another complaint about the master. Well, you can tell Zack if you waste another minute of my time with that pathetic feud of his, I'll have him up for disrespecting the office of the bailiff.
No, it's not a complaint this time. In fact, Zack came up with an idea to settle the dispute once and for all.
Is that so? Well, that's a different kettle of fish. That's just what I was after. You have my full attention, friend.
A duel?
Jesus Christ! Has he lost his...
A tankard of ale for me.
Now, don't worry, Goodman Bailiff.
G'day, Henry.
No one will get killed. It will only be a duel with bludgeons. Zack chose me as his champion. I'll be wearing a suit of armour made by his son, Vitus, and I'll fight Otter's champion.
A tankard
Whoever
here.
falls first, loses.
That sounds like a fine spectacle for the village green. Naturally, I'll have to be present to ensure nothing untoward happens.
Your presence is certainly expected, Bailiff. We'd like you to referee the whole duel.
Very well. We'll have it on the marketplace in the front of the church. But when?
That's up to you.
We can't do it now.
My
It's
pleasure.
nearly nightfall. We wouldn't see well enough to enjoy the show.
All right, Bailiff. I'll come another time.
God be with you.
What the hell are you
Ale
doing?
for me.
Ale as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Damn it.
Good help to you, Henry.
Hey, watch it.